Welcome to a new edition of The World in the Pocket, and it is me, Gabi Henze again. The world seems far too hot in the last days, and what said Stephen Hawking? In 300 years, the world will become a burning fireball. Extreme temperatures and extreme circumstances, water crisis, violence, migration. But I think we still have a lot of this already. I want to talk today about this with Anton Chupilko, and he is a sustainability economist and a consultant and a mentor for green innovation. Hello, Anton.
Nice to meet you. Hi.
So you are today, I meet you today in Izmir in Turkey. How is the weather there?
It's not quite hot. It's about 33 degrees Celsius, so it's better than in London or anywhere in Central Europe. And it's quite surprising that we have this temperature shift around the world. So it's exactly the indicators of the global climate crisis and climate change. I'm not a climate scientist, but I studied it for maybe more than even very renowned climate scientists. Just last year, I passed the course with Dr. Mann, who is very famous for his hockey stick drawing. And what I see by myself, a lot of traveling and understanding what's going on around, that we have exactly the science supported by actual events that we see, actual weather and climate events.
Yeah.
And what is most dangerous, I remember about 15 years ago, I met with Denis Meadows, the author of The Limits of Growth, and he just published his second book, 30 years after Limit of Growth. I have signed by himself with his signature this book. And he, a lot of times, explained that we'll see that, this is a critical science that will show us that we came to some finished lines, and it will be like indicators that show us that the world is going this worst scenario.
Yeah,
that's today is quite obviously seen by anyone. It's not it shouldn't be a lot of scientific proof that it happens. We see it every day.
Yeah.
And for last 5 to 10 years, I'm very attentively monitor the wildfires in Russia and Siberia. And 2 years ago, during the pandemic and before pandemic, there was 2 years that were absolutely enormously, non-seen from globally from the world, and global media very little showed the real catastrophes that happens in Arctica. And that was incredible when the dust and the smoke from the Siberian fires covered the North Pole, even reached to Greenland and reached to America. So it's absolutely such enormous, tremendous things happens that is impact. And exactly Denis Meadows called 10 years ago these indicators as the last signs that show us that is there is no back way. We are really coming to the time, we cannot stop it. We just will, it will be, the inertia will make the things worse and worse, and the earth and habitat will react with these worse and worse events, like melting the permafrost and so and so.
Would you say we can't still change it? So it is all.
Unfortunately, by my education, I'm cybernetic. I'm chemist and cybernetics engineer. So my main education was expert systems and studying the black boxes when you have incomes and outputs, and you design the model how it works. Today, I can say that the whole climate models and very optimistic words of Denis, of Dr. Michael Mann, and other scientists who said, okay, we need a little more. We just should a little bit decrease the emissions, and we can go on the normal way. But every year we just say that, but we don't did anything that is really comes to this, the better waste scenario. So we have only the worst and worst scenario. And after some of these indicators that Meadows predicted in his first models, and the second models also very detailed models that predicted that after such events, there will be no way back.
Mm-hmm.
And for this information, maybe for your listeners and you, will be very interesting to find out and reach some recent research that was done by very interesting geological scientist from US, from Utah. He found the evidence that Permian big dying was generally not related to the impact of some asteroid or comet to the Earth. But it actually was the same roots like what happened today. It was about the increasing the CO2, increasing the gas, the change in the gas composition of atmosphere because of the burning a lot of coal that was initiated by volcanoes in Siberia and in some other places. And you can find that Dr. Bergman, as I remember his name, maybe I missed the name, but that Utah research about the composition of the geological compositions from the Permian period. Mm-hmm. And he found very good evidence. You can find this video about what happened with dinosaurs that time, the great dying was caused by the same, changes in the atmosphere and making the acid rains that destruct all the habitat for the dinosaurs. They lost the feeding source, and then the dinosaurs that hiding in caves, they just stop breathing because also the gases that has more more mass, they was covering the caves and they just stop breathing there. So that
Anton, so sorry, so the scientists know it all. They know it for years. They saw it in ancient times. It is repeating everything. Why politics? Why economists? Why we all not reacting? Why we are driving the car to the wall?
That's human nature. That's 0.5% of people of the humanity who has the kind of education and attitude to be a critical thinking. It's like in the business, in the SME business, there's only 1 to 5% of people the attitude for the entrepreneurship. So the same small percentage is attitude for critical thinking and thinking about the future. So generally, the people, that their life driven only by fear and to some other basic instincts. So that's a big problem, and but it's such a kind of the world we are living in, with such a species that actually they're designed to live because of using the habitat as a source for living. In Soviet era, there was a very good wording about this, such words of the rulers of the Soviet Empire. They said that the humans are the masters of the nature, so we should take everything that we can from the nature. That was very famous words, and surely you heard about that. So we take, but we don't care what's going on, how it will reproduce, how it will recycle, and so on. So actually, we are we are the kind of suicide squad, you know, of the planet. And
sorry, and even if suggest it's utopia, but even if now China, Brazil, India, US, Russia, they would all come together, get a solution, and even
that's impossible. I don't see, you know, I'm very futuristic, but I'm not a stupid man. So you don't see any, you know, any sign. For me, it's a big now traveling and being such kind of outcast, like in the Tom Hanks in Terminal movie with my Russian passport. But I see that the people around the world, they live in their small communities. So, for example, Turkey is very specific, you know, close community with very own language, with very own culture, and so and so and so. And we have a lot of such communities. Yes, we can say there's a China and the United States and, for example, the European Union, but this is not humanity today. We understand that this incredible threat of the, you know, the demolition of all habitat will impact everyone.
Yes.
The people live their small lives, and maybe only Elon Musk and me or someone talking about okay, we have a great potential even about the climate change. And my good friend Bernard, who is a great adventurer and first flying on I always remark his words about that the climate change is not a catastrophe. It's you know, it's kind of process that empower us to do more, to more innovate, to more think about how we can change the world that we live in. But it's exactly the problem that very small part of people not integrated. We integrate on the political basis. For example, United Nations, who is leading all the climate talks and so on, they make it very political, but they not make it very personal. So all the efforts about SDGs, sustainable goals of the sustainable goals, if you will see that the drawing, the performance of the countries on reaching the SDGs goals, it's very weak. It's very weak. Mainly, it's, you know, it's driven by just you know, like in Russia we call the Potemkinsky derevny. So it's just the road. It's road that it's done, but it's done nothing. So it's just an illusion of actual process. That exactly for me is very big disappointing about last two COP meetings. That after the COP meetings where the Climate Paris Agreement was signed, there was no big promotion of actual task forces that should take the steps to empower the change. That you know, the very famous Russian scientist who was a member of the Rome Club and the very famous Russia Kapitsa, you know, he was the author of the very famous Russian TV show about the science. His last research was related to the population growth. And for me, when I'm talking today with some big corporations about what they should do about the sustainability, I give them very good example that all the economists and all the demographics scientists say that after this reaching 8 billions that we have now, and maybe 1 more billion, that due to what happens now, and we see it, the population will decline. So all our economic models are based on enormous, indefinite growth.
Yes.
To whom you will sell your products if there is no customers? So how your economic models will work if all your indicators in your business based on the growth, but there will be no growth. There will be no growing. There will be no growing of customers, of client base. So how you will sell your shares to your shareholders if your business will be always going down.
Yeah. What can we do? Last question from my side.
You know, it's a good question what we can do, but I think that as always, also in Ukrainian and Russian, very old words, until the burning duck is cut you on the hand, you do nothing. So we should wait a little bit, maybe.
I mean,
I think that this year. You mean what? I don't hear you very good.
I said now it is too hot. I can't do my work. I can't go out. It is too hot. I have to sit.
Yeah, you feel it now, but you know, yeah, that should be, yeah. Just today, Russian president, and this is very, very ugly man, Mr. Putin, he said in Iran or somewhere else about the golden billion. He started to, you know, criticize the golden billion, that all the problems, he always liked these conspiracy theories and so on.
Okay.
But I think there is a very important issue that these heat waves in Europe and in London and in States is really comes, you know, California is very dramatically heated by heat waves and wildfires. So I hope the richest people in the world and you know, the policymakers who will be personally heated by these heat waves, they will personally have you know, the health problems because of these enormous things happening on the planet.
Yeah,
that will take action. That will, you know, until you know, kick the heads, you know, nothing happens.
Yeah,
they will talk blah blah blah. They will, as you know, everyone is now using the Greta Thunberg blah blah blah. So that's exactly.
But I think the youth understand it better than a lot of elder and even old people, I must say. I don't think so. I believe in this when I see youngsters talking to older people. So
yeah, there's a balance, you know. There's a balance because
they want.
You know, my granddaddy was an educational guy. He was designed a lot of Soviet and Soviet model of education that was based on the mentoring. So you should transfer your knowledge to the next and next, and you should keep, you know, like a tree to fix it and keep it. So it's very important what I saw myself from the guys from the movement like Extinction Rebellion and Fridays for Future. There is a lot of you know, publicly awareness, but not too much science and not too much real action.
Good.
So that's a big problem. So when you have, you know, popularity, you grow things on your YouTube and your social media, but people very dependable on, you know, the proud and such things. So I think it could make a worse than it was, because we saw examples today that the movement for ESG reporting is generated, you know, the secret beast. Just 2 weeks ago there was a big research of BBC and Forbes about that big FMCG companies reporting they're using more recycled plastic, actually made more non-recyclable materials in the process. So they used 30% recycled plastic, but generated billions of tons of non-recyclable materials that even cannot be counted and recycled. That's and reported. Truly, they reported we are very good in ESG. We eliminate 30% of plastics and so on. So
I think we must stop here because we are running out of the time here. I think it was very interesting, a little bit frustrating, obviously, because it seems to be we can't act or, but hopefully we will have still the time, I at least hope, to save the planet. And if not for us, then for our children. I think we need to stay in contact. Thanks for being.
I can give you some good, that I will be not so pessimistic. I can give you some good words on the ending. So the good words that, there are too many people on the planet. In case with that Stephen Hawking said that we will be terminated by fireball and so on, there still will be some survivors.
Okay.
So maybe they will reset. And Elon Musk and the other guys who are thinking about the civilization type 1 that should be multiplanetary and so on. Maybe we'll have sometimes to think on the Mars or on the moon until the whole fireball will be burning up, and we will be back on the planet Earth, in movie, like in Wall-E movie. You remember this fantastic Disney movie about the robot? And actually, that's time to this young generation not talking about the things, but doing such robots who will clean up the planet. Going on the streets of Izmir, I see they have very good bicycle roads, but they have very dirty side roads with plastics and everything. So let's clean up the planet.
Yeah.
That's the only way the young generation can do it.
Thank you, Anton.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on the program, and all the best. Bye.
And to you. Bye-bye.
I've got the world in my pocket. I've got the world in my pocket.